Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pimp My Ramen. Alright, so today we are going to take a trip to Vietnam and we're going to try to recreate a traditional Vietnamese noodle dish which is called Pho, P-H-O. And today we're going to be using Guri Mi Rasa Vegetarian Vegetable Flavor Ramen. This is a product of Indonesia and yeah, so I'm using ramen noodles instead of rice noodles or vermicelli, which is traditional for pho. But because this is Pimp My Ramen, we are going to stick to ramen and just try to get those authentic Vietnamese flavors. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that broth because that's going to take a little bit of time to develop its flavors. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our pan on a high heat. Okay, we want to get this really hot. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat up a little bit of oil. You can use any oil that you want, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, so just about 1 or 2 teaspoons of oil. So what I want to do is I want to get this super smoking hot and we're going to char off some onions and some ginger in here. And we're going to get them to caramelize a little bit and it's going to really release those flavors very nicely. Now all I've got here are some regular onions that I've just cut in half. And I'm going to put them cut side down into the super hot oil and it's going to get a nice char going, okay? So, here we go. And we're going to do the same thing for our ginger. We're going to place it cut side down. This is just cut and peeled. I would say it's about 3 inches or so. And we're just going to go ahead and put that down as well. Alright, so while that's charring, I'm actually just going to move it to the back burner so we can get started on the rest of our aromats for our broth. Okay, so we're going to get this also nice and hot on a high flame. And what we're going to do is we're going to dry roast some of the spices that we need. So in this case we've got cloves, we've got star anise, we've got some coriander seeds, and we've got some cinnamon. So when you start noticing that you have a nice char going, feel free to just turn the onion and get it charred from the other ends that are flat as well. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this beautiful char already. So I'm just going to flip it on its side and let it char on some of the sides as well. Alright, so the pan is nice and hot now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 4 cloves, 4 to 5 star anise. Let's go with 5 because it's delicious. Alright, we're going to go in with about 2 or 3 pieces of cinnamon, about a couple of inches long. And 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. Alright, so you just want to dry roast that until it's nice and fragrant. Almost instantly you can smell that. Okay, so our spices are super fragrant now. They've started to turn a nice brown color. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat down a bit. And my onions and my ginger have charred, so I'm going to turn that off. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in and add our water for our broth. Okay, so I'm adding about 1 liter of water here. And then we're going to go in and add our onions and our ginger. Okay, we'll bring that up to a high heat and give it a nice stir. Now the last thing that I'm going to add in here before we just let it sort of sit and do its thing is our vegetable stock powder. Okay, so this is about a tablespoon of stock powder. I'm just going to throw that in. Give it a good mix until it's nicely dissolved. And all of these aromats start to release their flavors into the water. Okay, so this is the lengthy part of this recipe. Because once it comes up to a boil, we are going to put it on a sim for about a half an hour to really let it develop. So now we wait for half an hour. Okay, it has been half an hour and this house smells incredible from the smell of this broth. It is, oh my god, it's so good. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna quickly move on. Now the broth is almost ready, so we're gonna start getting our noodles cooked and then adding the finishing touches to our broth. Put that on a high heat. And we're gonna put this on a low flame. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drain out our broth and we're gonna get rid of all of those aromats. Okay, so we're gonna take a bowl and we're gonna put a sieve over it. And all we're gonna do is pour it out. Get as much of that liquid out. Okay, this is just absolutely delicious broth. And then we're going to go ahead and pour our broth back into our pot. All right, our broth is going to come back up to the heat now on a low heat. Okay, and to finish this off, we are going to add a little bit of fish sauce. It's about 2 teaspoons. And we're going to add a tablespoon of brown sugar. Okay, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. Now we're going to just mix that until it is dissolved and fully incorporated in our broth. Now just cover it and let it cook away until we're actually ready to use it. Okay, so we want that to be piping hot because we're going to use that to cook our garnishes and our meat in our noodles. Okay, our water for the noodles has come up to a rolling boil. So all we're going to do is add our noodles in. Okay, and we're going to let that cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. I want it to cook until it's just a little underdone. So I'm going to probably pull it out at around 2 minutes. Just because it'll finish cooking in the bowl once we add that boiling broth to it as well. Okay, so our noodles have just started to fall apart from each other. Okay, so I'm ready to drain some of this water out. Actually, most of it. Okay, we'll turn that down to a super low heat. And we are going to just sprinkle in our seasoning powder. Okay, just give that a nice quick mix. And we're almost ready to start assembling our beautiful pho-inspired Vietnamese ramen. Okay, so my noodles have been nicely coated with that seasoning. And I'm just going to remove them into our bowl. And now we are going to place our meat. In this case, I am using buffalo tenderloin. Okay, it's been super thinly sliced, and there's no seasoning on this whatsoever. It is just super thinly sliced. So when we lay it into our noodles and we pour that broth over, in just a couple of minutes, it's going to be perfectly cooked thanks to that broth. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and lay in some lovely slices. Nice and thin. All right, and now we're going to add some shredded carrots. And finally some whites from our spring onions, the bottom part. Okay, now we're going to put our broth in first, and then we are going to garnish this with all of our greens, which is going to be coriander, some mint, some Thai basil. So make sure you get it right over the meat. And you can see the meat instantly start to change color as it starts to cook under the heat of that broth. So you want to make sure that it's fully submerged. Okay, it shouldn't be poking out with the surface. And now we are going to make a mess with our greens, all right? Got some lovely fresh Thai basil here. Just go right over the top. Got some lovely fresh mint. And of course, no Vietnamese pho would be complete without some coriander. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just squeeze a little lime over it. And finally, a little drizzle of sesame oil. And if you like it spicy, and you know that I do, you can add in some bird's eye chili, which I have just very nicely sliced in half. And as that mixes into your broth, it's going to add a nice layer of heat that's going to go right through it, okay? So there you go guys. A beautiful, beautiful Vietnamese-inspired pho made with regular ramen. And I believe that I have successfully pimped my ramen once again. So please, guys, go ahead and try this. I wish I could have you guys taste this right now, but I can't. And it is so good. I tasted that broth earlier. So definitely try this. And always remember, you can make this with any type of ramen that you have. And if you don't have buffalo or you don't eat it, please feel free to use chicken, pork, shrimp or prawns, or even fish. And of course, you can make it vegetarian as well. So keep checking out my channel for all these great new recipes that I'm trying out and sharing with you. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Swag on a Summer. See you soon.